Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tales from the Fandom, the podcast that brings a special guest out of the multiverse and straight to you. Today's episode is brought to you by In the Reads. In the Reads provides beautiful, affordable artwork of the vibrant worlds found within your favorite books, TV, and films. From all wood bookmarks featuring illustrations and quotes from such fandoms as Star Wars, The Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Outlanders, and more, to fantasy and real-life maps drawn in the style of Tolkien. Go to inthereads.com and check out what is available. Like something? Use code TALES10 at checkout to get 10% off your order. A link will be in the show notes along with the code. And now, let's get to the episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Tales from the Fandom. We are in the month of July still, and I am so excited to have this guest join me. I have the pleasure of talking with Fairchild Cosplay. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm so happy to connect with you. It's been a long road, but I love that we are here to do this and get it done.
Mm-hmm.
It is something. Now, I met you from being on ComfyCozyCast, which is the podcast that you do with a number of other people in the process, along with Ashweed's Cosplay, who was a previous guest.
Yeah.
But what was funny, you had reached out to me. You're like, hey, I'd like to be a guest on the podcast, right? And I was going through my notes on my Gmail because, Gmail keeps everything. And what was funny was I typed in the name. I was like, oh, where did I have my notes for this episode? And you were one of my first people that I had reached out to when I started the podcast way back in 2016. I had sent you an email and I found
Oh my gosh.
You had expressed interest in doing the podcast, and I think it's through my personal Instagram is what I used to use.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd sent the email, but I didn't get a response back. I was like, oh, okay, and then for way back then is I just left it alone.
Yeah.
It's like full circle. Now you're here. It's great.
That's crazy.
It is. It's so wackadoodle. I'm sure if you Google looked in your account and just looked for it, be glaringly there. It's oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
Now I'm oh my god, I need to look at all my 2016 emails.
What were you doing in 2016? Dun, dun,
God,
dun.
I don't even remember.
But we have a number of different fandoms that we're going to talk about today. I think some of them might be first timers, which is wonderful. But we're going to kick things off with a movie. I haven't seen the second one, so my apologies on that. But I did see the first one and love it, and I love the whole concept of it and everything. And that's Pacific Rim.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is it about Pacific Rim? Because there's a lot movie franchises and the big, there's the big ones like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, and then it's Pacific Rim. What is it about Pacific Rim that's that's my thing?
The weird thing about Pacific Rim, and I always remember this, at the time, the person who I was with was hey, there's this movie coming out. Do you want to go see it? And I was like, you know what? That doesn't really seem like my cup of tea. You can just go see it by yourself. I'm sure it'll be fine. And so I never saw it in theaters when it came out. And I think I only kind of happened upon it as oh, well, I'm bored. I need something to watch. Let's try this for once. And I put it on. And I was like, I'm the biggest dumb of Dumbland. This is the best movie I've ever seen in my life. It was just the acting's great. Guillermo del Toro's monsters are always just top tier monsters. It was just so good. I didn't think that I would like a Jaeger versus big robot sort of things. That's not typically the anime that I like. But I don't know, something about it grabbed me and it would not let go.
It's a movie where I very vaguely remember it coming out. We had just moved to Florida back in 2011 ish, so we'd been here a while. The kids were still young, so I didn't see it in the movie theater, but I caught it. I don't know, I caught it somewhere on either on Netflix or just happenstance like renting it one day. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is a great movie. Like people were telling me about this movie for at least a year or two before I saw it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, okay, it's totally random. I found the email from
Dun, dun,
you.
dun.
That's so wild. Like, I just looked at my email, I was like, Tales from the Fandom. There it is. 2016, June. That's so crazy.
It is. It is.
Wow.
So with Pacific Rim, so you're not typically like a robot versus like kaiju big creature. You're not like a Godzilla, King Kong type person.
Well, it's kind of like, I don't really like, I'm not usually into things like Gundam or the other big robot animes. They just don't really tickle my particular fancy. But I kind of like Godzilla, but I like the worst Godzilla. Like, I like the one where Godzilla's like a T-Rex in the city.
Okay.
And I just think it's kind of like a really fun campy, and that might be part of what really draws me to it. Because I think Pacific Rim, if you look at it, is also kind of a fun campy.
Yes, it absolutely is. It has like those moments where it's just, especially with like the scientist characters. Where
I
it's just,
love them.
I like that makes the movie, like those two characters plus, and you know, I have a very soft spot for like Ron Perlman.
Yes.
Like he can almost do no wrong in whatever movie he's in, and I love seeing him in it, and his character was just wonderful.
So good. You just like the fact that he named himself after just where he likes to eat. Like, yeah, for me, I think the side characters and the monsters were kind of what made the movie so great, because the main characters were fine, and obviously Idris Elba's always going to be fine. But yeah, it was the scientists and Ron Perlman and the monsters that I think made it like so good.
Yeah, I'm looking over the cast list now because it's been a while since I've watched Pacific Rim. Yeah, Raleigh Beckett, okay,
Yeah.
it's all right. But yeah, Idris is always wonderful. Like even in the commercials that I see him in now, it's like, oh look, it's Idris Elba. I can watch those commercials. It's okay.
Yeah, I saw that one recently, and I was like, what are you doing in a commercial? What's happening?
Who is? I know, like you love Ron Perlman, Idris, the scientist characters. Which, apologies to them. Let's see here. It's like Charlie Day is one of them, and then. I don't know where the other one is because the list isn't telling me right now.
I can't remember the actor's name.
Burn Gorman. That's Dr. Herman Gottlieb. Yeah, it's like those characters all make the movie what it like, because like it'd be really dry. Okay, like that movie would be dry without those characters in it.
Yeah. Also, Hercules Hansen and his kid.
Yes.
And like the only thing I wish is that we got to see the other Jaeger pilots more, because they were all really interesting, but you only kind of got like little snippets of them. Like, yeah. My favorite thing is with the Russians in the Cherno Alpha one. Every single time I watch this with somebody new, I point out, but whenever their particular Jaeger is on screen, there's in the background like a Russian choir only with them. It's so good.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that part.
The second they're on screen, like Russian choir in the background.
It is that is one thing that I like when there's movies like that, right? Like where you have like the main characters, but then you have like these wonderful cast of like other people that you'd love to know and get like their story and give me a few minutes, give me something like that. That's something that goes across the board with like a lot of the movies that I watch, is I get drawn to these background characters, and I'm like, but I want to know about that person back there, like what's their story.
Like, I wouldn't mind a whole movie that was just about those other pilots, just seeing like how they came into being so popular and good at what they do.
Exactly. It'd be wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
After watching Pacific Rim, right? Like you're all in. Way to go. We're good for this. Did you watch the sequel?
I purposefully didn't watch the sequel because it wasn't Guillermo's movie.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing Shape of Water at the time, so he wasn't directing it. And from what I heard about it, it was very like the Avatar movie that doesn't exist.
Right.
It was like the Pacific Rim movie that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I also have not seen it. I mean, like, dang, there's definitely some people in the movie I'd like to support, like
Mm-hmm.
John Boyega,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like again, like as you pointed out, like Guillermo's not doing it, which I I hate to say that, like I hate to be like, oh well, poo poo on the person that's doing this now, right? Because I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
they had their stuff, but it's not like you lose that sense of feeling, right?
Yeah, because Guillermo has such a specific world, and like you can if you see a movie, you're like, oh, this is 100% a Guillermo del Toro movie. So like you can't really recreate something he did without him because it's going to be super obvious. If you like, if you came at that movie pretending it was something new and not a Pacific Rim movie, I'm sure there are people who would like it. But if you come to it like I saw the first one, it's by Guillermo del Toro, I loved it, then you're gonna be like, oh, I this is not the same thing.
And you mentioned Guillermo's monsters, which
Mm-hmm.
like my love for him started way back with like the Hellboy franchise,
Yes.
and that's another thing where it'd be like it'd be nice if Guillermo came back for like with Ron Perlman, please,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
like do a third one.
That would be so good. Cause yeah, and the good thing about that is since everybody's in prosthetics anyway, you don't really have to worry about like, oh no, Ron Perlman's aged a little. Like you can't tell. He's covered in stuff.
Right, exactly. If Guillermo was like, "Hey, let's do another Pacific Rim," would you be into it at all? Would you be
Yeah.
like, "Okay, let's do this"?
100%. Like, because I think part of what really made his good was he had a lot of, I think almost 99% of that movie is at night in the rain. like, like it's just, it's a lot of obscured stuff, a lot of theater of the mind for the darkness and neon lights, and there's a lot of atmosphere. Um, Whereas from what I was saying in the new one, it's like daytime, you can see everything that's happening, and it's like, well, it's a little too much. Like I don't want to see it all.
Right. It almost it harkens back a little bit to Cloverfield.
Mm.
Just throwing that one out there. I know we're crossing like so many different like things right now. Like we're crossing the streams with Ghostbusters, but it's like with Cloverfield, you didn't see the whole monster
Mm-hmm.
until like at least 40 or 50 minutes into the movie. Like you'd see bits and pieces, but you wouldn't see the whole thing.
Yeah.
And like that type of filmmaking is, I feel like it's like becoming a lost art, or
Mm-hmm.
storytelling is it's not there anymore. Like you get the trailers that show everything now, and
Yeah.
you get the movie where it's like, okay, here's the monster. Like
Yeah. I was weirdly enough, this is actually relevant in a strange roundabout way. So I had sleep paralysis last what day was 2 days ago?
let's see here, we're recording Thursday, so that'd be Tuesday.
Yeah, so I had like crazy sleep paralysis. And the thing that was scary about it was, you know, in Sixth Sense, when there's that the ghost in the dumbwaiter, and you
Yes.
never see it. You don't ever see that ghost, but you know it's the worst one. And it's just because it's like in your mind, like all the you imagined the worst thing. So like that dream I had was super, super scary. um, but it's like exactly that same thing where if you don't show me what the villain is or what the monster is, and you can just make me imagine it, I'll imagine the scariest thing I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but if you just show me it, I'll be like, oh, really? That? Okay.
Yeah, it is something where like the movie kind of like came out of nowhere, and then everyone was raving about it for like being basically like what you did, like as a kid of the 80s, I
Mm,
say, like that would be something I would be totally doing is like
mhm.
getting my big giant dinosaurs and my like
Yeah.
robot things and like fighting them together, and this is like that perfect movie representation, plus
Mhm.
you get the fun campiness of the multiple characters, and it's like black market
Oh, I love
kaiju and
that.
all like all that fun stuff, like, and then you actually get like some like cool little bits of nuggets and lore and
Mhm.
world building, and gosh, like
And it's like
there's so
really
much that they could have
emotional
done with.
too.
Oh, absolutely, especially with Idris is like that
Yeah.
emotional one, him and Mako.
Mhm. Yeah, for me, like that part was super emotional, but the part that always kind of like hits me right in the feels is when uh Hercules, the dad, can't go because he like busted up his arm. So
Hmm.
it's gonna be Idris Elba and um I can't remember his name, Hercules' son, the Australian guy. They're gonna go do it together, and like everybody knows it's basically a one-way trip. And like the line when Hercules like, "That's my son you got there, my son." I'm like, I'm crying now. And at the end, like everyone's cheering because they did everything, and they kind of pan over to Hercules, who's just like, "I'm dying on the inside, but I guess we're cheering now." I'm like, oh, you poor man. Someone go hug that guy.
That is like it's a movie where I can throw it on anytime,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and just it does, like, I don't have to pay attention to
Mm-hmm.
it because it's that type of movie, but at the same time you're getting like those different elements where it's just, oh my gosh, I can't believe like this is happening or this is happening, and you like then you get sucked in and it's like, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
gotta ignore what I'm doing for like the last half hour.
Yeah, and the music's really good too. It's got like it pulls you in.
Absolutely. And yeah, there's even as I'm reading over like the Wikipedia, and that there's like someone who is like the voice in the Portal video game series was the
Oh
AI of
God, yeah,
Gypsy Danger, and like,
GLaDOS.
yeah.
Okay, that when I first saw it, I was like, I don't trust you, robot. Something's going on here.
The cake is a
I was like, are
lie.
you gonna try and kill them?
Yeah, it's like a lot of little nods to like things that, especially because like I think Guillermo del Toro's like in that same age range as I
Mhm.
am. I'm checking right now to see how. Oh no, he's totally older than I am by like 12 years. But
Yeah, but
I feel like he's in that same stuff.
yeah, like he likes like the mech anime and stuff like that.
Yeah, and he's got like comic books, like he's into comics, and
Mm-hmm.
like he's supposed to do like the Hobbit movie series at one point and then pulled out of it, and
That would have been
like,
so wild. Like a Guillermo del Toro Hobbit.
right? Especially with like not only doing Gollum like a younger
Yeah.
Gollum-ish, but also like having like that kind of creativity to mess with like the spiders and the
Oh
orcs, and
God. Everything would have been like 10 times scarier.
we would have been like, people would have been at that movie theater and they're like, this isn't the Hobbit that I
Yeah.
remember. Now granted, the Hobbit movies aren't also the Hobbit that I remember
No.
either,
Yeah.
so
No.
oh man, Pacific Rim just led us down so many different like fandom
Yeah.
alleys. Like I feel like we covered at least like 6 in the Pacific Rim slot time that
Hmm.
we have. This is a multi fandom episode thanks to
Hmm.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah, it touches on a lot of like different little niche subgroups.
It does. It does. And you have like wonderful actors that like, cross over into
Hmm.
different fandoms too. So you got to be like, "Hey, this is cool. I like all of them."
Yeah, I recently saw the guy who plays Dr. Gottlieb was in something. I can't remember what the heck I was watching, but he was a villain. And I was like, "Wait, hold on. I I mean, this is strange to me because I always imagine him as like a bumbling science man,
Hmm.
but this also seems really correct. Like this, yeah, he is a villain." Like, it was crazy. I did not expect to see that.
Yeah, that is like the one thing where, and like I used to work at Blockbuster Video way long, when there's Blockbuster Videos
Yeah.
around, and that's my problem when I watch movies, and I immediately am like, oh, that's this person from this
Yeah.
movie, or oh, that piece of music was also used in this movie, and
Yeah.
like people hate it. People hate that I am like in a like Internet Movie Database, like walking around, and like I know that person. They were from this. And it's like, well, you just watched the movie.
I do that too, but I don't like that I do that only because I wish that there were more actors picked for things that weren't really popular, because then my brain would stop doing that and I could just like enjoy the movie because I'm like, I don't know who the heck that is.
That's one of the things I love about like smaller movies where they have like a cast of unknowns. It's like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah, like my brain's not trying to think of where have I seen your face before. I'm just like, movie.
Exactly. Now we're going to switch from Pacific Rim and all the other fandoms that we're smushing into that into that one to one that the fandom I love. I love the show. I wanted more of it. I was sad that there wasn't more of it. Yeah, the one thing, and I'm gonna just make the caveat as we're talking about this, is that the person that created it is not a good person.
Correct.
So don't support the person.
Mm-mm.
And the show is great. Would I want more of the show? Yes, but not with that person
Correct,
attached.
yeah.
And we're gonna talk about Firefly. And I guess my question is how did you get into Firefly? Because Firefly is not one of those things that like a lot of people know. And then there's also the whole like people bully others into watching Firefly. Like, you got to watch this show, because I did tell, like, when my wife and I were dating, I was like, yeah, you got to watch the show. Like, you have to. It's a thing.
Yeah, I feel like so Firefly is kind of like The Ring, because one person's seen it and they have to like copy it, and they have to make somebody else watch it, and then that person has to make somebody else watch it. It's the only way it gets around. But for me it was back in 2004, 5. I went to a private school in North Carolina, and I had never been there before. It was my first year there, and I didn't know anybody. And I met this person who I'm still friends with today, who was like, hey, do you want to watch this with me during lunch? And I was like, sure. I don't know what it is. So we would watch like tiny installments of Firefly during our morning break and lunch, and just like every day until we finally got to the end of it. So it was just like this, I have this like really wholesome, nostalgic memory of discovering it.
Oh my good. That's such a, like, I like things like that when people are like, oh yeah, like I watched it on lunch break, or I caught like the little pieces when we had time. And then you slowly like get them, and it's like, okay, here's a taste.
Yeah.
Oh, you like that taste? Well,
you're back?
Oh, well, welcome back to this. Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the hook? What was the one thing that was like, you know what, damn it, I'm going to watch Firefly now?
I think it was the fact that it was funny. Because a lot of shows back then, like, they were either a comedy or a cowboy show. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of things didn't mix with adding comedy and, like, regular people's conversations to shows. Everything was always, like, very dramatic and we talk perfectly. And so when I just saw, like, for example, in the pilot, when he's like, yeah, they're not gonna ever find this thing. And Zoe's like, why? And he's just like, 'cause. I was like, okay, this is funny. I like this. So it's just the fact that, like, it feels real instead of feeling like somebody wrote this to be made into a TV show.
Right. If it feel the world is very like lived in. Like it's not like you can. It's not like, okay, it's not like Star Trek where it's like it's like that whole, you know what, maybe it could happen, but that's like a really big leap of like,
yeah,
hundreds of years in the future of, okay, everyone's like kumbayaing, which don't get me wrong, I love Star Trek.
Yeah.
But it's not really like what's really going to happen. Like Firefly is one of those shows where it's like, you know what? Definitely can see this happening.
Yeah, and the thing that's nice about it is it totally makes sense that it's like Cowboys in space, but it's also kind of like Battlestar in space with the technology, because like the core planets are very, we have technology that does literally whatever, and then the border planets are like, we have horses, and that makes sense because like the stuff that works is going to be really simple for people who, you know, don't have the money, don't have the electricity, don't have the resources. You're going to go back in time a little bit to the stuff that just always works.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that I loved about the show is that Star Trek was always called like the wagon train in space, which is like a very old TV show. I don't even think I've seen Wagon Train. But I love that they essentially made a cowboy, like a Western in space. Like this is, you know, horses and cows and brothels and shootouts. And yes, you have like guns, but you also have like spaceships and medical scientists, you know, and all these things that they're doing with the show. It's just incredibly wonderful. And you have this cast of characters where everyone is likable to a degree, and some people are not as likable. And then everyone, like people that are watching can find their favorite character.
Yeah.
And be like, I love them.
And everybody is a person. Like, they have flaws, they have things that make them strong. They're not all one-dimensional. Like, everyone is a real person.
Exactly. It's they like there's a history to them. There's that one episode where it's like the flashback episode. I think it's like out of gas.
Yeah.
You know, and I said I'm not going to be like trying to like call out stuff like episode names or stuff, but Firefly's relatively easy with that.
It's super short, that's why.
But like out of gas, like it's the one, you know, Mal is like flashing back.
God,
and
that one's hard.
You get like all that character development of who these people were before they got on Serenity, essentially. And you learn about them and you learn their history. And then as the show is progressing through all like the little snippets and conversations, like it just builds on it. And the one thing I will say is I remember when Firefly came out, like on Fox, right? Because I was super into Buffy and Angel. Like that was like my jam. I was like, oh, Joss Whedon's doing this new show. But then I heard what Fox did, where they were like, oh, we're not going to air the episodes in order. And I said, well, screw that. Like, why would I bother watching?
Yeah, that makes
if you're not
no
do
sense.
Everything in order.
It's like out of order, and we're also not gonna put any out at all.
Yeah, I think they released, I think, the first 7 or 8, but then they didn't air the last 4 or 5 episodes, because I think there's 12 or 13 episodes total.
Yeah.
So they didn't even air the last bit of them, and like back then I hated Fox. Like Fox was like that, because every time I'd get attached to a show on Fox, it would be canceled. It's like, oh, I'm 4 episodes into it's canceled.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, it is what it is.
That's what they do.
Now, Firefly has a great cast of characters. I have to know who's your favorite. Who do you love?
Oh, that's tough. I think probably it's gonna be like Wash and Zoe as a couple.
Okay.
Because I love that they're so like backward compared to like the stereotypical couple that people always like create in TV shows all over the place, where usually it's like strong warrior man with small smart girl, you know, like this one was like strong warrior woman gonna kick your butt and her sassy likable husband. Like
it is a great dynamic, and I think Wash even calls that out many times.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to bed with my warrior woman,
yeah,
or something along those lines. It's like I dig them as a couple.
Yeah, because he never feels like intimidated or threatened by the fact that she could bench press him.
Nah, he's only intimidated by Mal's relationship with Zoe, and he's like,
Yeah.
and then of course that leads them into in multiple issues later
Yeah.
down in future episodes. Like,
They,
okay,
they get over it.
yeah, they do get over it. For me, like I'm split between like I love Kaylee,
Mm-hmm.
but I also love Shepherd Book, and I
Yeah.
think that's the one thing. And I know that they did like a comic book of it, but that's the one thing where I was disappointed that there wasn't more, like another season
Mm-hmm.
or two. Is like exploring Shepherd Book's backstory would have been wonderful to see on screen.
Yeah, because they put so many little tidbits to be like, there's something here, and then it's like, well, they're too bad. You don't get to see it.
Yep, you're canceled.
Yep.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked the whole concept because again, Star Trek, everyone seems to have money, right?
Yeah.
No issues. In Star Wars, you're still like, most of the people are scraping by. Like you got the Han Solo type stuff going on, but like they're here like scraping their credits together, essentially trying to get gas to just get to another planet to go maybe do something if there's work for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, you just don't see something like that. It's not something where it's out there in media, because otherwise, like that's a great source of their conflict is where are they going to get the money?
Yeah.
How are they going to keep the people paid and fed? Because Jane is all like, if you don't pay me, I'm going to like take over the ship or go join other people.
Yeah. Yeah, the second that they can't give him his paycheck, he's like, okay.
With Firefly, is it something that you still go back to, or is it a show that like you've watched it and it's in your head and it doesn't leave, like you just remember like all the good things about it, or is it like...
So no, I'll rewatch it like maybe once every 6 months. I'm like, oh, I feel it. It's time for a rewatch, and I'll just sit down and rewatch it and drag people into the world. Do the ring thing to them, make them watch it. And like every time I watch it, I'll change what I'm paying attention to. Like, so I know we're gonna talk about this later, but I am an admin on a Firefly forum role-playing site. So I'm basically a narrator in this world. So now when I watch Firefly, I'm looking at the background, I'm checking what tech they're using, I'm looking at like what kind of ships are available, what like companies are there, like things like that. Like I'll just start looking around the main characters at the background now.
And that's the wonderful thing about the show is that the background is so alive.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear like the bits and pieces. You hear the Mandarin that they're using, like for some of the language. And it is something where it is wonderful just to like look at and be like, okay, let me focus on that background. Let me see like what's happening on the different worlds and how they dress and what clothing they wear and what they're doing and the mannerisms, because like all of that just it makes such an incredibly deep, like I was going to say world, but galaxy,
worlds,
solar system, worlds, multiple.
The thing
planets.
with so now with Firefly, like I'll see a lot of the Easter eggs now. And so when I watch it with people, I'll be like, I'm gonna pause the show real quick and I'm gonna point at something and you're gonna tell me what you see. Like,
what do you see in this ink blob right there?
Yeah, I'd be like, what's in the bottom left of this corner? Is this anything to you? Like,
what is your favorite thing to point out? Just I'm curious now.
So my favorite thing is to tell people like, hey, so canonically, Firefly is part of the Alien universe. And they're like, excuse me? I'm like, yeah. So in the pilot, when Mal takes that anti-aircraft, like, ground shoot 'em up machine, and he's like, the console comes on to kind of like lock onto the ship that he's gonna fire on. In the bottom right-hand corner is the Weyland-Yutani logo.
No way.
Yeah. So technically, somewhere in the Firefly world, there's a xenomorph.
That is incredible.
Or will
scary.
be one.
Like I'm thinking about that now. I'm like, that would be incredibly creepy.
Yeah.
Not good.
Like, I think more time will need to pass to get to the Alien movies, but yeah, it's a Weyland-Yutani logo on that device.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible. You heard it here first, folks. I
It's
had
super
no
cool.
idea.
Yeah. It's like you're gonna watch it after this and be like, well, there it is.
Now with Firefly, we got the seasons or
Mhm.
the season, and then we got the movie. What are your thoughts on the movie?
I recently rewatched the show and the movie right back to back, and there's some things I don't like about the movie and some things I just love about it. Um, it breaks canon a couple times in the movie and like undoes some of the stuff in the show. Like, so when it's like a pretty big plot point in the show when Simon is like explaining how he got River out of the academy. He's like, "Oh yeah, it was luck. These people found her for me. I paid them to get her out in cryo. I don't know what they were doing to her. I don't know what the point was. Blah 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 blah." Like he's in the dark for a lot of it.
Yeah.
But then like the very first scene in the movie is him watching them do stuff to her while they explain to him what they're doing and why they're doing it. And I'm like, what? So you do know about it? Like, I feel like none of this happened according to you.
Yeah, that one, like I remember reading about that one, and they were like, the thing about Firefly is that just because just because Simon says something doesn't, it doesn't mean it's true. And like with all the characters,
Mm-hmm.
just because they're telling you something, you can't take that at face value as that is the truth about what's going on. And I totally get that they had to like redo a bit
Yeah.
of things to like for a movie audience that has never
Mhm.
seen the show.
Yeah, like I kind of understand why they do it, especially since they need to grab the audience really fast and kind of like zoom through the plot to get to, get re-go over everything we know and then get people going. But I'm
Right.
always just like, they've never really lied to the viewer before, like in the
Mhm.
show. That's never been established that, like, even Shepard, who's hiding a bunch of stuff, he's never lied about it. Like whenever they're like, "Oh, one day we're gonna have to talk about that," he's like, "Yeah, one day we will." Like he's like, "Yeah, there is a thing to talk about." So I feel like they've never lied to us. So it's weird that we can't like take what they're saying at face value when most of the time everything they say is at face value.
Yeah, it's definitely something. And I know the other thing that always like weirded me out, there was like I don't know if it's like a reunion where they were talking about like potential Firefly season 2 storylines, and there was some like storylines that had been proposed that were like really icky.
Yeah, like horrifically awful.
Yeah, like what was going on? Like honest to gosh, like what was going on in these people's minds of that's the storylines you want to go with?
Yeah, like I kind of feel like when I heard what they wanted to go with, I was like, you know what? Maybe it's okay the show got canceled because that's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, especially with like I think it's like with Inara that
Yeah.
there's so many different storylines with her. It's
Yeah.
like, what are you like why?
Like it felt like some kind of personal vendetta toward the character. Like they were like, let's just do everything awful to this one character. And I'm like, what did they ever do to you? Like, are you just personally upset by something and you're gonna take it out on this person by like just nuking their character in the worst way? Like, what's going on here?
Which now with the revelations about with Whedon, it's like okay.
Yeah.
I kind of understand possibly.
Yeah, like I think if ever we got more of the show, I think it's okay to leave the main crew to rest. I would love something just in the same world.
Yeah, the same story universe.
Yeah, but like a different crew.
Exactly. Now I'm reading because I was trying to find like the season 2 stuff, just to like glance over it real quick, and I didn't realize this at the time. But now I'm realizing it because I guess I was just too focused on like the Marvel side of things. When Disney picked up 20th Century Fox, they also got Firefly,
Yeah.
and apparently there's like little tidbits of there might be a Firefly reboot coming to Disney Plus, which
I'm trying to like the way I'm handling that is I'm pretending they're lying to me.
Right.
That way, if it doesn't happen, I knew it. They're liars. But if it does happen, I'm like, oh shit. Or oh poop. More Firefly.
Exactly. Like either we're going to have more or we're going to have what we currently have, and therefore I'm not let down. So
I just hope that if they do a reboot, it'll just be like other people.
Yeah, I can't see them doing like a reboot to keep the characters unless they had like a legacy character that was like aged, because it's been a while. Like it's been like what 20 years.
They could do that because in the comics that are coming out now, Zoe and Wash had a kid before the thing that did not happen because I closed my eyes every time. But yeah, they have a kid, and the comics right now are kind of focused on Zoe and the kid.
Okay.
So they could go that way, but
yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to see.
Hopefully.
Now you mentioned what we're going to be talking about next, which is a wonderful segue. if I had stopped talking, a good couple minutes ago, and transition, but you mentioned that you do and you said cooperative writing in the thing, but then you also put like role play.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
So basically, so it's a Firefly forum roleplay site. Essentially, it's kind of like D&D if D&D was entirely writing based. So for example, there's a few ships that we have on our site, and the admins will narrate for different ships, and so we'll have like the skeletons of what the episode, because we put them in episodes, of what the episode's going to be about. So for example, one of the ships that I narrate, the Darling, is like blue collar workers, and one of the episodes they had was there was a derelict that they had to they'd been hired to get the scrap from and get the cargo, very similar to what was that one? Bushwhacked?
Yeah.
And so they go over there, but the tether breaks and something in the ship starts breaking, and so they have to deal with what's happening on the ship while also making sure that their away team, who's on the derelict, can come back. So basically all I do is I make the skeleton for the story, and then through my players, writing like a paragraph or two about what their characters are doing, they fill in like the muscles and the skin of the story until we have basically an episode of something in the Firefly world.
So it's similar to like a play by post.
Yeah.
But like you're not like, people aren't like, okay, I need to roll, like I assume there's no like rolling of like virtual dice or like, hey, can I do this or can I do that?
Yeah, if it's like if it's something that's super reasonable, we'll just be like, yeah, you did that. And then I'll adjust the story to like make it fit what they just did. Or if it's something like mostly if it's interacting with another character, we want to make sure that everybody has autonomy over their own characters. So they'll always say something like, for example, if they were going to punch somebody, instead of saying, he punched him in the head, they'd be like, he attempted to punch him in the head. That way, the person who's defending will always get to decide what happens to their own character.
Right. That like no god modding.
Exactly.
Yes, I am familiar, kind of, like, because I used to do like play by post D&D games on forums way back, like maybe 10 years ago. But then I have some background in like creative, like the creative role playing thing, because there used to be like, I think it's called Insane Journal is the thing that we used, and I would like write like I would pick characters from different fandoms, and they'd all be like living in the same city, essentially interacting with other players that are writing other characters from different fandoms, and like interacting, and you would like write like write a scene with this person. It's like, okay, well, here is like, for example, like Firefly, like Kaylee interacting with like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh my gosh.
And just like seeing how like the people that are writing the characters like interact and get along, and it's really fun, but it's really intensive sometimes.
Yeah, the way we have ours set up is specifically like no like canon characters. So we assume that they're off doing whatever they're doing.
Right.
And this way we can generate our own world with our own characters, just utilizing the verse, like this amazing backdrop. We're just in it.
Now, how did you get involved in this?
Geez. I've been writing stuff like cooperative like play by post since I was like 12. So that I've been doing forever. I think the Firefly one I stumbled across in like 2013, and the website's gone through a few iterations since then, but we've just been like sticking with it, and ships come, ships go, and now we are where we are, and I'm like really pleased with where it is now.
Now, just out of curiosity, and I'm not saying this just for me, but for the people that are listening, like if this is something that they were interested in, is it like an invite only type thing?
No.
Or is it...
So it's findingserenity.net. It's welcome, like anybody's welcome. Basically they would just go like apply for a character. We have like a sheet that kind of says like, here's how you do it. And then as soon as they made their character, the narrators would be like, hey, like here's where our ships are, here's what they do. How would you like us to write you into the world?
That's interesting. I'm looking at the site now because obviously
yeah.
I was like, hey, let me pull it up. How does one get interested in joining? Because I'm looking at the different like I see like the Darling, and I see like Odette and Revenge and the space station, and recent posts. Is there a I guess you could click on what forum?
Yeah, so you'd go to forum, and then you would go right down to getting started. We have a guidebook, which is a lot of like information like money, tech. So like anybody, even if you really aren't super well versed on the Firefly world, we have all that information where you can read it and stuff. We also have things like RP opportunities. So it would be like if there's a new ship starting, you could always check there. And then just character applications where you'd go to you like fill out your app and get your person on board.
That's really cool. This takes like takes me back to my very early like internet days of like Prodigy and AOL back when there's like forums like this. And join like filling out applications to join like because I used to be like into like the Star Trek ones where you'd be on a ship and there would be like people like captain and the commander and the security chief, and you'd all have roles to play and you'd write, but it'd be like everyone would be writing together. You're taking me back to like geez, let's see here, I'm 30 years ago, give or take. Golly. Now do you only do like the Firefly, like this Firefly, or do you do like other stuff like personally to like for your own like for other like things?
For my own, I have a few friends who we just do like a urban fantasy kind of setting, like modern New York, like basically what it would be like if humans didn't realize they were living alongside magical creatures, very like Hellboy kind of vibe. But the only one that I do that's like publicly available is the Firefly one.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out later after we finish recording. While after we finish this and I'm working, I'll be like, let me just take a gander over here, because it honestly like it has that vibe of taking me back to a really good time, like when I was first getting on the internet and like had no clue how bad the internet would eventually turn into.
Yeah, I remember those shiny new internet times before anyone sullied it.
Yeah, right. Why do I go on Twitter? Why, like, what's up with that?
And the fun thing about the site too is like even if you don't feel confident yet to like go on and make a character, I feel like we have so much content just to read that it's entertaining, even if you just want to like read something in the Firefly world. Because all of the narrators, like, we love Firefly so much that we try to stick as closely as possible to the, the canon. So it's as close to the world as we can get as just, fans. We even have a map of the verse showing where all of our ships are at the moment.
That is awesome. For a long time, like the verse, like my thoughts of how like the verse was laid out was one way, and then I picked up the role playing game book that has the map in it. I was like, oh, like this is not what I thought at all.
Yeah, they have a ton of like stars and proto stars, and like it's just it's huge.
Yeah, and that's why it takes so long sometimes to like traverse the verse.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of like I think part of our like our little taglines are very like role play and show based. Like part of our area where we have all of our ships is called find a ship, find a crew, keep flying. Like
That's really cool. I'm gonna have to check it out. People that are listening, the link will be in the show notes, so that way you can check it out too.
Yeah.
I won't like make you have to like type it in as you're listening to this episode and rewind like a whole bunch of times.
Yeah, we'd be happy to have you guys.
Now, one of the things, Fairchild, when like I had stumbled across your page, apparently 6 years ago, give or take.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you're into is you are into cosplay.
Yeah.
How did that happen? How did you get started doing cosplay?
So in 2005, very, very closely around the time that I discovered Firefly, actually, I came to visit my dad, and he kind of wanted something fun for us to do while I was there. And so he's like, hey, I heard about this thing called Fanime. Do you want to go with me? And I was like, sure, I have no idea what that is. I like Sailor Moon. So we went, and it was the first time I had ever seen cosplayers in my life. I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know it was an option. I didn't know it was something I could do. And I just saw these people dressed up as anime characters, and I was like, hang on. I feel like I'm onto something here. And the person who I think finally kind of, because I had done a Renaissance fair before, so dressing up was an interest. And there was a cosplayer there, and I'll never forget them. They're called Avariel, Avariel Cosplay, and they had this set of fully articulated hawk wings. And I was just so enamored by the fact that not only was this possible, but they had made everything they were wearing, that I was just like, okay, I'm gonna put this in my mind. I don't realize yet that this is something I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna put it back there, and I'm gonna come back to it later. And I didn't actually finally allow myself to start doing it until like 2013. So there was a big gap before I finally like took the plunge.
Oh my goodness. That the one thing that is really cool, and the thing like that you pointed out, was like the fully articulated wings. Like when I see those, it boggles my mind. Not only like the dedication, like some people do like the individual feathers,
yeah,
right? And having to do like all of them, but then like put it like onto the unit, making sure that the unit works correctly, like to like fully like engage but also fold up, and also like not to tip over. Like it, like that type of cosplay work is just super incredible. It's something that I still can never get over to this day.
Yeah, like I can't even begin to imagine how I would start to make those.
I wouldn't know. I'd have to like look somewhere and be like, I need a tutorial.
Right.
Like I can't even cut in a straight line. Or, like,
I need an adult.
I need an adult, and I am 40 something years old. I need an
adultier adult. Like.
So what was your first? What was your first cosplay?
I think technically my first cosplay might have been I can't remember her name, the main character from Vampire Knight, followed pretty quickly by a store-bought Ty Lee from Avatar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely dig the Ty Lee Avatar. Love one of my favorites of all time.
Oh yeah.
As far as fandoms go.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how do you choose who you cosplay? Is it more of a, hey, I like the character, hey, I like the outfit, or is it like a combination of both?
It kind of depends. Like, I have a running list of cosplays that I want to do just based on stuff that I like. For example, like 50% of the Sailor Moon characters I will eventually, hopefully, one day create. um, but like a lot of the times, the thing that will get me to cosplay something the quickest, um, is if my friends are doing it as well. So if I find out that my friends are doing like a Sailor Moon villain group or a group from like Pokemon or something, like the group aspect of it is such a big deal to me that I will whip out a costume like in a week just so I could do that with them. That's usually my biggest motivator.
Okay. What are some of the ones that you've done because of a group?
Um, this one was with Ash a few years back. They were doing it's like I think it's Sunset Dragon is the artist, but they did D&D versions of the Evolutions,
Okay.
and I was like, I guess I'm interested in Pokemon kind of, but I just wanted to like be a part of this group and the designs are cool. So I ended up making 4 of the cosplays in that group because I was so excited to do a group thing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And what did you become? Like what was yours that you did?
Mine was Eevee Monk. And then I made a female version and male version of Umbreon Rogue, I think it was, and then I made a Leafeon Ranger.
Very nice. That
Yeah.
sounds awesome. I'll have to go back and look for them if they're still on your
Yeah,
on your
they're up
Instagram
there.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, back in 2016, when I had originally invited you, I actually scrolled through your Instagram, right? I scrolled all the way back to 2016 because one of the things I love is like how like what was the thing? What was the cosplay like
Yeah.
that I stumbled across that was like let me get interested in this person? And it has to be either your Batgirl,
Mm-hmm.
your classic Batgirl, or it was your Sailor Vaporeon.
Oh, yeah.
Like either of those two would have been like the things where I was like, "Hey, that's really cool. I got to talk to this person."
That Batgirl one was crazy because, like, most of that one was one of my first experiences with making stuff without a pattern and just being like, this shape makes sense, I think. And I have vivid memories of being in like one of my first apartments that was just mine, paid for with my own money, um, big grown up time, watching that uh Batman show while I was sewing it. And God, I just remember thinking like Batman's dumb. Like Robin is solving everything.
Oh my gosh, it's like Inspector Gadget, and he's not solving things. It's his daughter.
Yeah, like I went through my whole life thinking like, ah, yeah, detective, Batman, got it. And then I was watching it, and I'm like, ooh, he's stupid.
And you said you made that without a pattern.
Yeah, and it was my first time doing that. I was super proud.
It's so good. Like it's wonderful because like they and I can't even imagine because I've heard horror stories of people working with like that kind of material,
Mm.
and it's like I don't know how people do things like that.
Yeah, it was interesting because for the helmet, or I guess the cowl, it was just I had a what are those called, styrofoam head, and I was like, okay, there's not going to be a pattern for like Batgirl cowl, so I just taped up the entirety of the head and just drew it on. I'm like, all right, this is what her thing looks like, and we're gonna figure it out from there.
That's really cool that you did that. And not only that, like you've got one of my favorite you got one of my favorite dresses of all time. I'm not ashamed to admit that I have a favorite dress, and it is from Sleepy Hollow.
Yes, oh, that is one of my favorites. It's been on my bucket list for forever. Like basically since I saw that movie, her like striped black and white dress. It's such a stunning outfit. And the thing that makes that memory so good to me, as soon as I finished making it, I got to go see Christina Ricci at Rose City Comic Con. And so she got to see the dress that I made of her character, and it was just like so amazing.
That's awesome. Now, I know with like the photo shoots and stuff, it's like get in, get out real quick. Like you don't really like say anything besides like hi or anything. Did she say anything? It was like, oh my gosh.
So at first I was kind of disappointed because since it's during COVID season, we can't really like stand with them for
Right.
very long, especially since she was pregnant at the time, so it was like heightened security.
Oh dang.
But I had gone with my significant other, and as I was leaving, my significant other was still there with her, and she was like staring apparently at the back of my dress, just like smiling at it. And to me, I'm just like, ooh, yay!
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Now you've done a number of different cosplays. Do you have any like favorites? Do you have any that are like, you know what? Damn, I can't believe I did this. Everyone should go look at it.
I'm pretty proud of my Lenore cosplay from Castlevania, because it was my first time ever styling a wig like that. Usually I just kind of put them on. But it was my first time actually styling it and making all the accessories out of foam clay. But I think my all-time favorite cosplay, it's pretty simple. It's my Merida cosplay, and it's just because like I feel so happy in that cosplay. I love wearing it.
What is it about the Merida cosplay that gives you that level of I love it?
She's my favorite Disney princess out of all of them. I just love that she never ends up with a dude. She has an entire family, and like the whole plot is like, bettering yourself and getting closer with your family and like really understanding each other. And I feel like her attitude towards life and like how sassy and like spunky she is just makes it really fun to wear, because I can kind of stomp around and be indelicate and get muddy, and like it's so nice.
That is a plus. Like you don't have to act like a proper princess.
Mm-hmm. And usually when you wear cosplay, you're like paranoid that it's going to get dirty. But with this one, I'm like, if it gets dirty, it's kind of in character.
Exactly. That definitely does lend itself well to that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I always like when I see people with like the very intricate like dresses or like the long trains or stuff like that. Like, and I know that they're dragging on that con floor or getting like in the photo shoots, and I'm like, how, like, you can't just take that to like the cleaners and be like, okay, here, I'm dropping you off like my cosplay, clean it.
Yep.
Like that's like people that cosplayers in general. I just am always impressed with not like the technical like hand skills, right? Like sewing or crafting or armor making or what, like all the stuff that goes into it, but then also like having to maintain it.
Mm-hmm.
And like that it's such a wonderful thing to me from my point of like I can't do any of that, and it's wonderful like that people can do that. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's fun. The thing I like the most about like the cosplay photo shoot and convention experience is you make this outfit, and then you're babying it for so long because you don't want anything to happen to it. You do the photo shoot, you do the con, and then now you're like throwing it in a corner. Like, moving on. Like, this can go over there now. I don't care anymore.
Get out of here.
Get away from me.
I'm done with you. I spent a year working on you, and now I'm moving on to something else.
It's like, I've got the pictures. I'm moving on.
With cosplay, and I've only met one I swear I only met one person, which I talked to her recently. That she doesn't plan out like what she's doing. But I know that most cosplayers have like a list of like cosplays that they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of those that you would love to do? Like whether it's like this year or just in general, like what are cosplays that are on your list?
Well, let me open this giant folder on my desktop. So one of the ones that had been on my list for forever that I'm finally starting to tackle, actually two of them, are from Sailor Moon. A lot of Sailor Moon cosplays are my dream cosplay, but like I never really thought I was good enough to start them until recently. But Queen Nehelenia is my top one that I've wanted to do for forever, and I just got the fabric for her, and I'm gonna start it. And then Serena's Alphonse Mucha themed dress from literally just one episode. has been on my list for forever, and I just finished it. Just had a photo shoot with it. I'm super excited to get the pictures back. See, other than that, I think honestly it's a lot of villains from Sailor Moon.
What is it about the Sailor Moon like realm that draws you, especially like specifically for like all the cosplay?
So a lot of the villains specifically have really interesting outfits. Naoko designed, the person who did Sailor Moon designed a lot of these, either based on fashions of the time or art. So they're really like intricate and just really beautiful. Like she has a way with making these characters look like evil, but also regal at the same time, and I just really love that.
It's like Bridgerton, but in Sailor Moon.
Yeah. Honestly, the dress that I'm making now is very Bridgerton era kind of looking.
See, and I just threw that out there. I was like, I'm going to nail it somehow, and that's what I did.
Yeah, so Sailor Moon's main dress, it's based on a Christian Dior dress that looks very similar to like the Bridgerton Regency era dresses, and it's always been one of my like dreams to make a really detailed Bridgerton themed dress, like before Bridgerton even came out, but Bridgerton Sailor Moon dress.
Right, that like gosh, the Regency era type.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, I know things.
Yeah.
I know things that people might not know about me. I connected the dots. I got it. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to like seeing your work, because it's the evolution from when I stumbled across you and like following you in the past, like let's say what, a year, a year and a half, 2 years. The work that you've done is just incredibly, like, from leaps and bounds from your start to where you are now. It's just incredible to see like what you have done and what you've created since then.
Oh, thank you.
Now, I mentioned I think at the start of the podcast that we had actually talked on another podcast that you are a part of, which is ComfyCozyCast. Yeah. How did you get involved in ComfyCozyCast? So
ComfyCozyCast is sort of Ash's, Ashwee's Cosplay's brainchild. It kind of goes in hand with their virtual convention, ComfyCozyCon, which was born, amidst the COVID shutdowns where we couldn't really go to conventions anymore, and we were all kind of jonesing for the friendship that we had at those events. So they made a online version, and they reached out to me one day and they were like, "Hey, how would you feel about being a host on a podcast?" And I was like, "Well, I have honestly never thought about it before, but but that sounds like a lot of fun, especially since I am craving social interaction." So we kind of did that, and honestly, it really helped me get through a lot of the COVID isolation, just meeting with them every week.
Yeah, that is something where, like, I started this podcast back in 2016. There's a lot of like referencing that date just for some reason, but that was like when 2020 March-ish, right? So like March-ish, April, like there were times I'd been doing the podcast for like the 4 years leading up to it, where it's like, okay, scheduling is tough, right? It's like trying to like work it out and get the days and times right. And then all of a sudden it's like people have time, like, oh my gosh, like, oh, you're available and you're available and you're available. And like all of a sudden it's like a snowball of, I have more people than I know what to do with. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, what is your favorite thing about doing ComfyCozyCast?
Honestly, I think it's so. Casey did what, and Ashwee's both live in the central time zone, and I live in the West Coast. So I really don't ever get to see them unless we're flying to each other to go to cons. So just being able to hang out with my friends who are so far away is probably my favorite part.
That is a good thing. Like that's something where I think people don't like realize that, especially with the travel that people like in the cosplay community do, going to the different conventions. Like you take that away and it's like you're really stuck with the people in your area, and if you don't have anyone there that you connect with or you like can socialize
Yeah.
with. It's like, and now you can like look at each other on Zoom and talk to each other.
Exactly.
And then, just record it.
Yeah, the fun thing about the podcast, even though it comes out mostly in audio format, we would do video calls so we could see each other and like laugh with each other and make funny facial expressions at things with each other. So it was great.
Absolutely. Do you have a favorite memory of the cast so far? Is there like something? And listen, I know it's not mine. So, but is there like one where you're like, dang, like that was really cool?
Let's see. Honestly, and it's gonna sound a little like mean, but my favorite episodes are when it's just the three of us.
That's not mean at all.
Okay, cool. Because I just really like when we're able to just the three of us talk to each other about stuff that makes no sense and it just dissolves and we don't have to worry about really keeping on like an interview like schedule. Like it's okay if we just go on 20,000 tangents. So those are probably my favorite.
And that is, listen, that is something that is totally okay to say.
Okay.
Because I have done many an episode, and there are ones that I know they are not the greatest. And it's not my guest's fault. It's not something that's like, okay, like I can point to and be like, that wasn't the strongest episode. But then there are the ones where it's like especially when I have return guests, when they come back and it's like, oh, well, now that we have a familiarity with each other, we can just shoot the shit and just talk about whatever we want to talk about. And I'm still going to put it out so people can now listen to what we are randomly talking about. So it's that's a wonderful thing, and especially just being able to have that social connection and continue it like with doing that.
Yeah.
Now, is Comfy Cozy Cast continuing? Is it like, I know that all of you are incredibly busy with real life and cosplay life and everything. Is it, because I know it comes out in spurts, but is it something that will continue?
Yeah, I think so. Like we've never discussed it stopping. It's mostly just as soon as our schedules line back up, we'll probably start going again.
Yeah, and that's like so many other things, like in different fandoms. It's like, we are now all adults and have responsibilities, and we must do things to like pay bills and not do the fun stuff like make podcasts.
It's like, why must I toil for money?
Exactly. Like, why can't I just talk, to people
Mm-hmm.
randomly?
Yeah.
Now, Fairchild, for people that have listened to this episode and they're like, you know what, dang it, I need to go find you on social media, or I need to go, take a listen to the podcast or wherever they can find you. What are the best places for them to track you down and give you that all important follow for the algorithm?
Sure. So Fairchild Cosplay is my Instagram, and I think most of my other things like Twitter and Facebook. Our ComfyCozyCast is just ComfyCozyCast.com, and we have all of the episodes up there to listen to. And then recently, I've actually been the most present on Twitch. And that is Lomari Fairchild, so Lomari Fairchild.
Listen here, I did not know about this Twitch.
Yeah.
And so I am going to give you the follow right now, because that's not cool that I didn't know about it, because I follow everybody on their social medias. So bam, done. And so wait, so you do VTube?
I do, yeah.
See, wait. How man? I could have been talking about VTubing and Twitching and all that stuff. What kind of stuff can they find on your Twitch channel if they go follow you?
Yeah,
there?
so I do VTubing. I have like a little cyber pixie. I call her the glitch in the game. And I do games like Phasmo, Forewarned. Recently we've been playing a game called First Class Trouble, which is basically Fancy Among Us. And then, yeah, I'll usually do like one day a week where I just do like a single player game. Like right now I'm doing Papers, Please, and next I might restart Okami if I can get it working on the computer.
Oh my gosh. I watched somebody play through Okami, and there is a character in Okami that I just cannot, like. Okami came out in a very like like late 90s
Yeah.
early 2000s, right? And there's a lot of sexist stuff in that.
Mhm.
And it is like there are times where the person playing it, because he's like a friend of mine, like on Twitch and everything, and he's been a guest on a podcast, but like we would both, like, he'd be yelling and we would be typing and being like, come on now.
Yeah.
This is not acceptable.
Yeah, there's like a lot of the girl characters, so the guys look like, guys, kind of grubby guys, but one of the characters, like, her whole butt is out.
Yeah, there's a lot of just like eye rolling, like, this is not cool.
Yeah, the part I love about the game though is the mechanic. Like,
yes, it's so beautiful.
The wolf and being able to draw with like the ink to get all the stuff done, that to me is just my favorite part. Like, I kind of remember the plot and the characters, but my brain focuses so hard on like, I get to run around as a dog and draw stuff.
Yeah. and like, do all the cool things with the drawing. Yeah, that is the control scheme is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I don't know if any other game has ever done anything close to it.
Yeah.
But awesome. When do you generally stream?
I usually will do, so for sure Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and then the other days of the week are like kind of floaters, where if my friends are like, hey, let's play a game, I'm like, all right, I guess I'm streaming.
Right. Awesome. Well, I'm going to make sure to have all the links, not only to like your Instagram, but to Twitch and to the ComfyCozyCast and to Finding Serenity. So that way, if you're interested in checking that cooperative writing style game out, you can. And I just want to say thank you, Fairchild, because I have had that, like, we've been talking for a little bit over an hour now, and I have had an absolute blast getting to talk to you and dive into like all the cool stuff.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Thank you for listening to Tales from the Fandom. Subscribe to us on iTunes or your podcast app of choice. Follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/talesfromthefandom to see photos, links, leave feedback, and check out upcoming guests. If you'd like to be a guest, email David at talesfromthefandom@gmail.com.